Okay, looks like we need to get started. Good evening, everyone. We have Jamie Sutphin, our village attorney, on cell phone. She has the flu, but she's present by telephone.
Oh, I wish I would have known we could.
That's okay. She's not feeling well, so she probably didn't really want to be on Zoom. I'd like to call the meeting to order, please, at 7 o'clock by my watch. I'd like to start off with the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Do we have anybody here for La Madre landing? No, they're not coming. They just want us to talk about it. Okay. So first on the agenda is La Madre landing, which some of you that were not here when all of this started a couple of years ago, it's the new development apartments behind the existing St. Mary's off Smoky Hollow Road. And it's Christopher Community is the developer, and they had site plan approval, and they have 6 months extensions, and they wait for funding, which some of you, I've explained this to before, they get HCR funding or HHEP funding, and every year they apply in the round for funding, and then the departments choose 3 from this area, 2 from this area. So they have not been chosen yet. And we gave them a new approval for a site plan, must have been last October, I think it was. So they're up for their next 6-month extension on our part. So I don't know if there's any discussion, but it's pretty simple. Usually somebody makes a motion and vote because they will eventually get their funding. So
I'll make a motion to approve the extension.
Okay.
For the 6 months.
Did you get that? Chris and James? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, Michelle. Thank you. Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good.
Would you like to step forward and
Absolutely.
bring us up to date with where you are?
Absolutely, and I will be without Julian this evening. He's not ill. I think he's in Florida.
Gee, that's too bad.
Don't hate him. So, went at it completely different, and really just my look at this was looking to be a steward to take advantage of the fact there was already Gentry Street there. And that was part of what I was. And the other thing I was looking or trying to do was stay as close to the 7,500 foot lot sizes as I could, and to keep the higher density, which is what it was originally zoned for. Just trying to push through that with the fact that I couldn't make the houses fit in the footprint. I need to move forward. So what I've done is change it up so there's a plan before you that has no request for setback variance or shift. They are set with a 40-foot setback. We do have a seven lot loss. So from 26 or 27 lots, we go to 19. Curb cuts won't be on Gentry Street, so I won't be improving Gentry Street except for the section in the beginning, the first 300 feet. Curb cuts beyond the new road. And essentially what we've got is a conforming subdivision without any need for variance. I think the only thing that is outside of book is the 50-foot road width rather than the 60, which we've discussed previously. Left it at the 50, didn't know how hard a push that was. It can go to 60 except for, obviously at Gentry it's not 50 yet. That'd be something you guys would have to do, or 60 yet. And at Hunter, can't do anything about the egress coming in from another municipality. That's a 50. But apart from that, that's really the only thing that's not in book on this plan. sidewalks were put in place as requested. I do expect they're gonna change one part of that sidewalk from where it's coming alongside the cemetery side, on the section of Gentry that we will improve, to the west side, just because the drop-off going off the side of Gentry is pretty steep, and I've got flat over on the other side. I just want to build on the flat side, not the hill. But apart from that, that's essentially what we'd be looking to do. Assuming that all things fall into place, once I know where the lots are, we can start designing drainage, outfitting for, lot coverage and so on and so forth. And if we've got to shift and adjust based on those needs, certainly will. But apart from that, I think we've got enough room there for stormwater management. I do have lands outside the subdivision that I can put into play if we have to as well, but I don't expect to. But that comes as we get in more detailed drawings against what a proposed layout would be, and then we then go into some more detailed structure with the engineering. So I guess that being said, I would still leave on the table the 26 lots. I would just need a variance for the setbacks. If we don't want to go that route, here's an option that does fit without having to have that discussion.
Okay. When you say move the sidewalk to the west side, are you going to cross
I would probably
your
cross,
proposed street
I would
at
think
the
I'd cross the
corner?
proposed street just because that brings into play, maybe folks from here might come and use the sidewalk, or we could put it, I don't know that I've got a
Okay.
big skin in the game. If we put everything on the west side, I think that'd be fine as well.
Okay.
Put it on all at one side and have
Yeah,
it see-
personally, I think that'd be a little better because you're
Yeah.
not crossing
Yeah,
streets.
I just asked him to put a sidewalk in, and then I went and looked, I says, you know what, that's kind of a steep bank.
Yeah.
Might want to change that was all.
Okay.
And, yeah, that's an easy fix. And the intent was to show, yes, we heard you on the sidewalk. So.
Anybody else have any other questions right now?
A question, sort of, just in terms of the width of the street. I feel like it was kind of ambiguous as we left it last time. If there's actually a code that specifies what that needs to look like. I know previously it was 60 feet, I think this shows 50 feet. So if that's kind of standard, that would be the only question that I would have.
50 is done, the most standard is 60. But I've got a lot of 50 already here. I'd like to sit down with Taryn and find out, what his thoughts are on that, the village administration. And
So are all the rest of the roads around it 50?
a lot of, Tappan is 50.
Yeah.
Hunter, I think, is 50.
That's the reason we picked that up. And frankly, a 60 isn't going to impact much of anything. I've got room to play with that. That's not, I'd take it off I'd push it
Yeah,
east.
we got
I'd
it.
push it east and it won't impact anything of significance. It's just, staying in line with the 50s over there rather than the 60. It's a non-event.
Okay, so you want to
this
talk
I want to
about
talk, yeah,
that and you
yeah.
can
And I
provide
don't,
us
and it doesn't
feedback?
matter to me. We'll go whichever way is suggested or encouraged, so that's fine,
Okay. And so your stormwater management area, you're guessing at that, right? Because you haven't had
It's
the
an educated
engineering
guess, but
yet?
yes, yeah.
Well, I understand.
Yeah, and the outfalls there, at the outfalls, I own the lands there as well, if I wanted to go there rather than maybe have to absorb part of a lot or a lot.
Okay.
But, yeah, everything feeds to that central location as it is. Gravity's gonna take most of it there, plus whatever we put in the streets, but want to make sure, and I'm going to have to make sure that we detain everything because the spillway is directly into the river and
Yeah.
the watershed, so well aware of the impacts and what's got to happen, so it'll be sized correctly. Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Stromo's going to have something to say about it as well.
I just followed the DEC.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's it. There's guidelines, you fit or you don't. That's
I
right.
don't know if I can make you do any more than they're gonna make you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, does anybody have any other discussion on the plan that we're seeing?
I think just the clarifying thing, for the road that would be coming off Tappan, the first 300 feet would be upgraded, kind of as we had heard from the
Yeah,
last
right, I would
short.
make it consistent with the new road, it'd be made to village specs, where we,
Okay.
tap into it, mill it, make sure it's up to snuff.
There's a spec on here. I don't know if that meets the village spec or not in the notes, Greg.
I think he picked it up from the code book, but I'm not, that's,
Yeah, I know that we're working on new subdivision, roads, curbs, that sort of
Okay.
thing. At least, specs that just, if they're not anything special, they're gonna just align with everything else you do in the county and stuff like that.
same thing with
Okay.
the Canterbury probably.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
I know it well.
With the larger footprint, what does that do to the size of the houses that are gonna go on there from 8?
I don't expect from a marketing standpoint they'll change, and I'm still limited to 2,500 or 25% of the overall. The limitations stay in the same place. So if it's a 10,000 square foot lot, I can put a 2,500 square foot footprint.
Okay.
If it's 12,000, I can go a little bit bigger footprint. Who knows, maybe somebody wants that third bay garage or something,
Okay.
so.
Or do we have
Or you could
a
analyze
general?
it goes on an individual basis with a variance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
And
Anything
I'm not a fan
above
of-
that would require variance. I mean, if somebody did
Right.
want to go over a little bit, they'd have to come back for a variance of some.
Okay.
I was just noticing these range from like around 10,000 feet up to 21,000 feet.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's a fairly large lot for
yeah,
a
that's a-
7,500 zoning.
Correct.
And have swimming pool.
It is what it is.
Okay. Personally, I'm happy to see the setbacks.
Okay,
And I think that the buildable area is still close enough together that you'll still have a sense of village
Village.
community, it seems to me.
great.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, to me, this reminds me a little bit of the dialogue at the end of the suggestion. I think that Jamie had said, hey, had thought about making this change, and rather than having houses that abut Gentry going further down, you just have those as backyards. So I think that is kind of in line with that conversation. To your point, it maintains the setbacks per code, so it would eliminate the need to work to try to get a variance. Ultimately, for us to decide if we want to suggest to the other board if we need to have a variance.
Right? So I think generally it sounds like we like what you've done.
Good.
We appreciate the work that you've done to maintain the setbacks, and yet the lots definitely, have that village feel, which I think is good. I think some of the next things that he needs to talk about is the wetlands, the DEC regs are our next big hurdle. That'd be right, Greg? I know Jamie had a conversation with you, I had one with her also.
We've done the long form seeker, it's not in the wetland or designated thing. Those are submitted and they're resubmitted on the 19th, but the seeker was done a couple of years ago, and then we resubmitted it. The long form EAF.
Okay,
Submitted,
but there's
resubmitted.
new DEC, Army Corps.
Just to clarify.
okay.
The seeker was not done, maybe the
Submitted.
long form EAF.
EIF, yeah,
Right,
We did not do seeker on this
yeah,
yet.
sorry.
Okay.
okay. So I talked with Jamie and she wasn't sure if where this development was gonna be is considered an urbanized area. Did she talk to you about that this afternoon? Okay, she didn't get all of you.
Yeah, I didn't get Greg, but.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's 11 criteria now that, Greg, you can talk maybe better than I can right now, but 11 criteria that now determine whether something is going to be a jurisdictional wetland. And that has to be done. So the old way of doing things to look at the DEC map is no longer valid. So I think that's the next thing or, you know, can be running concurrently with trying to move forward with formulating these plans. Because if any of this, you know, like, I hate to say this, but puddles are, you know, depending on where it is, are now DEC wetland. So
Yeah.
I think we have to be careful of that.
Completely
And that's
unaware.
something that the applicant needs to see, what else they need from the DEC.
Okay.
I'm still
Right, do you have
getting
any comment
really
on that?
mixed information on the wetlands and the
Yeah.
Yeah,
changes.
I'll be over
Yeah.
that. I'll be all over that in the morning.
So what Jamie explained to me this afternoon
Figure it out.
is you used to use the DEC maps as the indicator of wetlands, and apparently that no longer is the case. There's other criteria. One of the things is you have to hire your own inspector to certify that you don't have
Yeah.
any wetlands.
Yeah, I've done wetland delineation maps in places that were suspect.
Okay,
And, you know, had potential wetlands in there, and then they designated what part of it exactly
Mm-hmm.
is. And then I've actually gotten fill permits when I did Highland Meadows, which.
yeah,
right
I
up-
think
I
the
did Highland Meadows,
criteria
and that had
is,
wetlands in it.
from what Jamie says, it has to be an expert.
Yeah. Oh,
to-
I've used a couple of engineers that have
Yeah.
done that. I've done wetland
Okay,
delineations before.
and then
I just didn't realize it was-
apparently, and this is we call this a Reader's Digest version. You then send it to the DEC, and they send somebody out to verify what you've certified to. And we really would like to see you move ahead with that, because otherwise, if there's some big problem that maybe changes your
Oh, I
plan,
wanna do
you're-
that first.
you're spending engineering money on your
Yeah, we're gonna,
site.
I'll check DEC first, and I didn't realize.
It started-
Because it's not in the maps. It's
Yeah, it
not
was a
currently in the maps.
January 1, 2025 change,
Yeah.
and
Brand new.
it's, I think they're also
It's fine.
struggling a little bit, but
Is Ray Nolan still there? I love him.
I have no idea who's there.
He's not there.
So I think that would be really your next
Yeah. Oh,
goal
no, to
to deal with that.
I mean,
because
assuming that.
you don't want to get way
No,
far
no,
down
I
the road
appreciate
and
that.
find out
That's a great
that,
heads up for me. I appreciate that. Apart from that, though, I'd like to have a consensus on whether or not I want to invest the marketing or the engineering dollars on the rest of this.
Yeah.
You know, where are we with this? Is everyone, if this is the plan people are happy with, I will design the crap out of it. Oh, sorry, I will design it.
I think generally,
Yeah, no, I think this looks a whole lot better. I think
Okay.
moving forward, you have a whole lot more room to play with whatever pops up and creeps up, because
Yeah.
there's room to move and shift, like
Yeah.
you said, moving the
Wasn't
sidewalk, whatever, you know, if we
Yeah.
need to go to 60 foot.
Sure.
The other one, you couldn't even give a postage stamp, you know, over it, because
Right.
it's so tight, so this is, thank you.
Yeah.
yeah. So, but then, you know, you're gonna move into your site plan approvals,
Sure.
but I would definitely take care of the
DEC
DEC
is first.
first.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
And
I-
it
I-
probably will take some time.
Yeah. And,
So
yeah, no, we'll get it.
I think that's where we stand
Great.
at this point. Thank you very much
Okay,
for
thanks.
making
Is that
the
a vote
adjustments.
required thing? I don't know on your end.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, great. All right, we'll be in touch, for sure. Thanks. Let's try to get you all
Thank
on
you.
this tonight.
Appreciate it.
Stay warm.
Thank you, Carl.
All right, now I'm gonna jump back in old minutes and do the approval, or the agenda and do the approval of the minutes. James, you sent in a couple of questions / comments / changes, and I think that Michelle reflected those
Yes.
in the updated minutes. Does anybody else have anything regarding the minutes as amended? Okay, could I have a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
I'll make the motion.
Johanna, James second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, Michelle. And I had a couple of other items on, I guess it's still old business and one new. How about our planning board alternate?
Yeah, he's here. This is my.
Ah, welcome.
Hi.
Would you like to stand up and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background and so forth, so we could get to know you?
Okay. Jacob Bach. I have a 4-year degree from SUNY Potsdam. I'm kind of in the construction industry as a material supplier. So I know about blueprints and site work, and, you know, I know all that, all the jargon, I guess you could say. Small family business in East Syracuse is what I work for.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
They do brick and, they sell primarily brick and stone, it's
Ah.
just him and his dad, so, but, commercial projects, so. But you've been doing that now for what, 6 years?
About 6 years, yeah.
And can I ask just the basic question of why you're interested in being on the planning board? This is like a job interview.
Yeah, I know, I wasn't expecting this. I do like to know what's going on in the area, for sure. You know, I like to kind of see what's being developed and, you know, try to maintain the, kind of the historic integrity that that I see involved, so.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of historical villages, and that's kind of why we live here, is just like its charm.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
I kind of filled him in, but I.
Oh, you cheated and
I
filled
didn't
in?
really tell him he'd have to do a speech next.
Well, I just thought we should get a
Yeah.
chance to meet
No,
him
for sure.
and hear about his thoughts. And does anybody have any other questions? Looks like no. Okay. Do you want to talk about taking a vote for alternate? Do you want to discuss it and come back next meeting? How do you want to do that?
I believe that the alternate is appointed by the,
Right, but we have to recommend, so do we need a vote to recommend?
oh, sure, if he hasn't been appointed, sure, we can do that.
Yeah, no, he hasn't been appointed. The mayor left it up to us this time.
Oh, so it was a real interview. Okay.
Yeah, it was and I think he did well. So do you
So a
want
motion
to?
to recommend appointment by the village board.
Yes,
I'll make that motion.
okay.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yep.
I think you're hired. We'll recommend you to the village board and the mayor will discuss it with you, but I assume he'll appoint. We need an alternate. So the alternate doesn't vote unless someone is not here and you step up and take their place. And, yeah, to make the quorum, and then you would vote. But it's good to be at the meetings and hear what's going on, because if somebody isn't here, we don't have a quorum, you're informed. And if someone goes off the board, then you fill their spot too, is how you move up there to the next spot.
Well, I figure I already go to the meeting, so he can just come with me as
Sure.
an alternate,
Yeah.
so, won't be.
He said date night.
Yeah. We are going to dinner after this.
See, that's all right.
So-
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming and sitting through the meeting, and I'll send that recommendation to the mayor tonight or tomorrow. The only other item that I had was I sent everybody an email about the wetlands seminar that's Thursday at noon, I think it is. James thought he might be able to attend, but I think anybody that could attend, I copied you as well, Greg, anybody that could attend, that would be fantastic, because this is a new regulation.
That's online, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
did sign up, and I've already got my link to go, but there's actually two. There's one Thursday.
I was gonna say there's one next
And
Wednesday.
there's
Oh, there's one next Wednesday too? I didn't notice
I can
that.
attend that one.
I couldn't attend that either. I can carve
What's
out
the
enough
difference?
during lunchtime,
Yeah.
away from, what I'm doing, to be able to do that, unless something goes on
Okay.
tomorrow, but, Thursday. But next week, I can't, yeah.
Okay, well,
I'll do
anybody,
next week, and if you do this
Okay.
week, then we'll have stereo
I can try
feedback
to do
next time we're
Thursday as
together.
well. so.
okay, anybody that
Sure,
can, I
it's
just
the
think
same
it'd
thing.
be good information for everybody. I can't do this Thursday, I have a client meeting, but we'll see how the next week goes.
It's going to be evolving as well, so, I think your professionals, Greg and myself are trying to be as well informed as possible. I'm not sure that, am I being recorded? I'm not sure that the people who did the regulations know what's going on. But, at this point, exactly, it's brand new, so we
Right.
have to keep talking about this.
Right, but it's good for us to be able to at least understand the concepts
Yep.
and the hoops to jump through.
Agreed.
Okay. I don't have anything else. Does anybody have anything else for us tonight?
I'm pretty quiet.
No? Okay. Oh, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
You?
I'll second the motion.
Did you get that, Michelle? Okay, motion to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous, Michelle. Thank you. It was adjourned at 7:25.